There are homes in the Dallas suburbs that even the smart home buyers like you should think twice about. We have toured thousands of homes over the last 20 plus years across all Dallas suburbs, from Flower Mound to Argyle to Highland Village and beyond. And there are several properties that immediately raise red flags the moment we stepped inside.
We're breaking down the 7 types of homes we would never buy. And we're going to rank them in order, starting with the easiest problems to spot, then moving along to the hardest, and ending with the one that dupes the most Dallas area homebuyers, which is why it's absolute worst on the list.
And we're not just looking at the upfront cost, we're looking at potential maintenance and emotional tolls and future resale value, because all three matter. This video could save you thousands of dollars and a whole lot of heartache. So let's jump into it.
We all want great schools for our kids, but living next to a school is a completely different lifestyle than simply being in a great school district. Now, this is something that most buyers don't fully realize until they've already moved in. You've got heavy traffic twice a day. You've got cars lining the street during drop-off and pickup, overflow parking when there's an event, potentially loudspeaker announcements, early morning practices starting before sunrise, Friday night games under the lights, weekend tournaments, constant activity. We helped a client sell their beautiful home that sat on a corner lot directly across the street from a school. House showed great, but we kept hearing the same thing from other buyers. We love the house. We don't want to live directly across from a school. Now, for most families, it's not about noise. It's about quality of life. Now, the constant flow of people never really stops, and it makes a difference. That's why this one is the easiest to spot, and it's one of the easiest to walk away from.
A house can be beautiful, but the lot is what determines whether you'll actually enjoy living there long term and whether future buyers will want it. Let's talk about sloped lots first. Our own yard taught us this lesson. When water comes downhill towards your home, drainage always wins. It doesn't matter how much you love the house, if the slope is wrong, you will be fighting water forever, and you will feel it emotionally. Every big storm, you're wondering, are we going to have a water problem again? Then you've got tiered or terraced yards. They look great in photos, but in real life, you lose usable space. You pay more to maintain them, and those retaining walls eventually fail. Kids and pets can't really use the yard. It's pretty, but it's not practical. And then there are tiny backyards that don't match the rest of the neighborhood. We sold a home for a client where the house was gorgeous and the neighborhood was stunning, but the yard was half the size of everyone else's. Buyers walked right out saying there's just not enough yard to fit our family. No matter how amazing the home was, the yard killed it. And let's talk about the lots with flooding history. The Dallas suburbs have pockets with flood zones, even homes that look perfectly normal. We sold a home in Flower Mound that was in a flood zone on Timber Creek, where the water would stand in the yard every time it rained. The inside was updated, but once the buyers learned about the yard, the buyer pool shrank instantly. This is where your long-term happiness and your resale can get hit fast.
Before we jump into the rest, where things get harder to spot and more expensive to fix, we want to give you something that can save you from some huge mistakes. We created a Dallas Suburbs homebuyer red flag checklist with the exact things that we look for when we tour homes.
Most home buyers miss these, and that's how they end up with problems they never saw coming. Just click on the link below, it's free, and you can use it on every home that you see.
In fast-growing suburbs north of Dallas, empty land is a gamble. You don't know what it'll become. Zoning can change, roads can expand, privacy can disappear, new traffic patterns can show up overnight. We recently helped a client who needed to sell their home that sat next to a small road that was slated for expansion, and it was across the street from undeveloped land with unknown future plans. Beautiful home, stunning home, terrible lot situation. When the market slowed, it became extremely hard to sell, not because of the house, but because buyers had no idea what would eventually be built around it. Well, unfortunately, they could have foregone a lot of this had they known it before they picked that lot to build their beautiful home on. Had they had an agent that would have said, hey, I know that lot seems like a really good deal, But for future reference, there is sitting right next to this road. There's this lot across the way. Don't build there. That could have saved them a lot of heartache. And the same goes for commercial property. There's actually a neighborhood in the south end of Flower Mound where several homes back up to a fire station, a small retail strip, and an electric station. Those homes show beautifully, but they still sit longer and they sell for less. You can change your paint, you can change your floors, you cannot change what is built next to you, behind you, across the street from you.
Texas soil moves. The clay-based soil throughout the Dallas suburbs moves even more. And while foundation work can be fixed, the stigma is what hurts on the resale. We tell clients to watch for diagonal cracks around the windows, sticking doors, sloping floors, watch for patch jobs, no documentation, large trees too close to the house, and water pooling around the foundation. Now, foundation issues are not always deal breakers, but they have to be the right kind of issues with the right kind of documentation, repaired by the right kind of company. Because even if everything is fixed perfectly, future buyers still hesitate. And when buyers hesitate, resale suffers.
Most investor flips in the Dallas suburbs look great online, but once you're inside, you start seeing the shortcuts. Pretty cosmetic updates, but nothing done behind the walls. HVAC systems at the end of their life, original plumbing, poor drainage, foundation shortcuts, electrical that may not be brought up to code. And here's a big red flag. If the home has been in contract and then back on the market, usually something's wrong. If it sat on the market a long time or sat vacant a long time, same thing. And the pricing, usually too high for what you're actually getting. The truth is, investor flips aren't always bad, but the majority of them are surface level fixes that hide deeper issues.
This one covers several things that buyers don't always think about. Major road noise, train lines, city or town maintenance facilities. We sold a home in Highland Village that backed up to a spot where you had train noise, a consistent traffic pattern or noise from the nearby light. Buyers felt it before they even stepped inside.
Then you've got oil and gas well pads throughout West Flower Mound, Argyle, North Lake. Buyers often don't notice them online, but when they show up in person, their interest usually drops. And power lines or cell towers. We actually sold a home that sat near a cell tower. It was right behind it. The home showed beautifully. They had an amazing covered patio for outdoor living. They did some great updates inside, but the buyers could not unsee that tower. Now, homes like that take longer to sell and usually sell for less. If buyers don't want to look at it, they don't buy it.
This last one gets a lot of people. Older HVAC systems, original windows, aging roofs, and the original septic system on 1 acre plus lots. We helped a client buying a home on an acreage lot with the original septic system over 20 years old. The buyers loved the land. They loved the home, but nobody wanted to inherit that system. And the roofs, if the roof is older than 10 to 15 years, insurance companies may or may not cover it, but your rates will be higher, especially in certain areas. This category isn't always a deal breaker, but absolutely affects your long-term cost and resellability.
If you want to take the next step and protect yourself from the biggest mistakes homebuyers make, watch this video next, The 3 Dangers for Flower Mound Homebuyers.